Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. We are looking pretty dang good here in Magnitograd, which is now helping us to keep up with steel a little bit better, okay? We're going to start seeing steel actually sitting in storage waiting to be used instead of being used immediately. Feels pretty dang good, let me tell you, to have over 200 people consistently in this building. I think I'm going to crank it up to 500 and just let it go nuts. Yeah. There's a couple of other things we want to do, and that is we need to start processing iron a bit faster now. If we're going to be making steel faster with more people in here, we got to get the raw resources going too, right? So we're also going to be making another iron ore processing center, and we're starting to get even more people in the iron mines so that we can mine it faster too. So that's pretty much the long and short of it. I'm getting this one built right now. This one here is getting pretty close to its machines needing to be. The wear and tear on machines is 37%. It's got a little ways to go, but it's the redundancy of it too, right? Machine repair shuts down the entire factory, so having another one is gonna allow us to at least keep some iron flowing. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with coal eventually, but I don't think it's necessary right now because we are able to ship coal in from another source. The coal train does every once in a while drop coal off here. It's been doing that pretty steady, and our coal supply is much healthier over on that side. So I'm letting the trains do that for now, but getting our own local source of coal here will be a huge help. And I will be building this building. We actually already have all of these done, but I'm not building this yet because this thing actually just got its machines repaired. It's at 0%. It just happens. So we're going to wait until this one's about 25 or so, 30%, and then we'll start building this one. That way they can be on alternating schedules as well. I like that idea. I'm also trying to pave these roads. They're coming along. The helicopters are helping with it, but it's taking a little bit of time. We got to pave these things so that the traffic doesn't get super bad through here, right? This is another one of those cases, I think, where I might have an issue with traffic because like it's only one road, right? And it's kind of the only road in from this side to that side. That's a recipe for disaster. I feel like I should have learned my lesson by now, but I haven't apparently. And so it might be a good idea to give these guys an alternate route and maybe set this up as a one-way. I'm not entirely sure where that would happen. Possibly we could just do it like this to where this is one direction and this is another. You know, this is the way back and this is the way forward. And then we just have them merge on this run. I mean, it's something I'm going to look at. I'm not oblivious to that risk. But for now, since things are not really relying on personal cars, it isn't a terrible deal yet. The biggest problem we have in this area usually is trains. They stop right here. And up until now, their signal to stop has been here. I have moved the signal back here, but that also leads this to be a very short path. And so now if they do stop here, they're also going to be in this intersection, which is no good. But, you know, the passenger trains are this short. So any passenger train that ends up stopping here it's still fine. It can stop here. But if it's one of those a longer cargo train or any train that's longer than like 75 meters, it is going to kind of bring itself back into this area. I could possibly get around that by redirecting this road. I could get just a little bit further back. I think for the most part it doesn't matter, but you can see this train here. It's obviously going to be in here if it had to stop here. To where before it would end up stopping here, and then it would actually be right here and it'd be fine. That's the 150 rule, right? So this isn't breaking the 150 rule with trains, it's breaking the 150 rule with the intersections. But for passenger trains, it's not such a big deal. They're not that long, so they can stop here and everything's fine. Okay, so today we'll touch base. We'll touch in on this in a bit too. And real quick, I need to see what's going on over here. How come we've got all of these vehicles not getting maintained? Do you have your? You're at 2,000. It says there's nothing to repair. I disagree. Oh, you know what it is? Stupid me. We're paving the road. So, like, they're all shut down. They can't leave. Yeah. Well, we'll touch base on that later. Okay. So, one other thing I want to do eventually, right, is to get this tunnel done. this tunnel goes on the way underground, and they're already done with this. So now I just need to connect this up and bring it back up, right? And that's all I need to do. And I can bring it up kind of wherever I want, which is really cool and flexible and all. But I don't exactly know where everything's going to be located over here yet. So let me plan that over the next, several, I don't know, in-game years. And eventually we'll bring that tunnel over here. Today, though, I wanted to introduce you to some of the stuff I have been planning. And actually what I'd like to do is get this to not be paved, because there's a decent chance this gets slightly shifted. It's going to be lined up the same, but I'm going to just bring that back to dirt and allow me to be able to move that around. So let me introduce you to the start, anyway, of our traffic system for CHARLYBINSK North. Okay. This will not complete. We won't be able to build everything today, of course. And we won't even have all the plans in place today. But I think you'll get a much better idea of sort of like the traffic composition of the city. And I'd like to also introduce you to the fact that we now have mods installed in the game. For now, we do. And actually, once I place the buildings and build them, it'll be for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to give you a mod list just yet, because some of them I may delete, right? If we use them, I'll keep them forever because they're in the game. But if I don't use them, I'd like to be able to just take them out. They're mostly just assets and buildings and stuff. We'll look at that in a little bit. Okay, so if you take a look at the land we have over here, you're going to see that there is a hill, and it kind of stretches out this way. And it also comes over here. It sort of butts up right against the metro station, which is right here. And this is where we're going to get entrance into our metro on this side. There's also going to be another entrance to the metro somewhere in the middle over here. I haven't really figured that out yet. I'm leaving the train lines on because it's much easier for you guys to see and kind of reference where things are at nighttime. But we're going to end up building this mostly during the day. So here's how we're doing this. Okay, there's a little bit of measuring that has to happen. And so we're going to start by just having tunnels applied right to where these are. All right. So these things are as long as they're going to be. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go underground, and we are going to go down from this side. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels. Okay. And we are going to make this 100 meters long with no curves. So right here is at 100 meters long there. Okay. We don't want any curves if we can avoid it. So we'll go about like that. Okay. And then this one will match that one at exactly 100 meters long. All right. From there, we're going to go out 80 meters. So 80 meters should be able to do that exact. Yep. And it's basically the shortest we can make the tunnel. We can't make it any shorter than that. It won't let me. It says it's too short. So it goes 80 meters like that. And we go, and that says it's too short. So we actually have to go a little bit, just a hair longer than that 80 meter limit, it looks like. 1, 2, 3. I don't get it. Why are you at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? There we go. Yeah, I don't want any elevation differences. All right, so 80. We have to probably just go a hair, like our 81 probably is what it's going to make me do. You see how you can move a little bit and it doesn't necessarily switch? It's kind of where I'm at here. So I guess we'll go 81. And then that one should allow me. There we go. And then up here, another 100 meters. And we'll get to the surface at that point. So 100 meters right there and up to right there. Okay. So that's our first tunnel. That's going to go underground from there. It will then go above ground for a little while before sinking into another tunnel. All right. But we'll look at that in a little bit. Next, we want to find the halfway point between these two things. And to do that, I'm also going to make sure I've got some perpendicular roads to reference here. So we're going to want to have roads that go this direction in a perfect T or a perfect cross. So 90-degree angles running perpendicular to this road. Okay. So I'm getting mostly these as a reference point for now. And the only way to really do that, I need the reference on the ground is what I want. So we're going to go with mud roads so that it will make a mark on the ground. There we go. And then we'll delete them. And now we'll have those marks. They will persist. Okay. It's not quite as clean as I thought it would be, but it's okay. Next, I want to get a road. Oh, I messed up my tunnel. Don't do that. There we go. I want to get a road that goes straight across this. All right. And so to do that, we're going to just kind of pretend that we want, it's about here, I think, but we also need this to be right in the middle as well. So if I lay this down, let's measure where exactly the middle is. So we have it from here all the way over to here. And that's going to be 205. I mean, you have to allow for some variance because of where I'm clicking. So we're going to say it's 205. All right. We could say maybe it goes from, you know, from here to here. And now all of a sudden it's 203. But in general, let's split the difference. We'll say 204. What we're looking for then is 102. 102 would be exactly the middle. So we're looking for this mark right there to be about the middle between these 2 points. All right. Which means my eyes were pretty good on this road because that road needs to be one side of the middle because there's 2 roads. So that is where we want this. The center point between these 2 things is right between these 2 roads now. And if I look down at here, it looks like it's pretty close to a right angle. I'm not sure if there's a tool that'll tell me whether things are a right angle or not. The measurement points that I have here, you'd think I'd be able to just go, like, say, on the edge here, down to this point here, and then go this way, and it would tell me if it's a right angle or not. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing any indicator as to what angle this turn is. I kind of wish that was a tool in the game, but it isn't. So we're just going to eyeball it, and we're going to say that that's close enough anyway. All right. So from here, what we want to get is a couple of, we want to get a couple roads that go right alongside this. All right. And then this one's going to have the same thing. It's going to come out, let's say, probably, let me make sure we match this up pretty much right on here. So we're going to want to come out about 80 meters exactly from this point, from this middle point here. So 80 meters right about, come on, give me that 0 degrees right there. Yep. And then back off 80 meters. Good. Same thing with this one. Come out 80 meters without any, I want it straight. You got to be straight too. Come on now. There you go. 80 meters. Okay. And we can delete these little backsides here. All right. Got to do the same thing with this one. All of this will make sense in a bit. I swear. All of this stuff will eventually make sense. You'll say, I don't know why he's doing all this. You'll see. And in summary, just so you're not completely lost, we're creating a template, okay, that we're going to replicate a couple times, okay? So I'm going to bring this out, let's say about right here, and it'd be nice if I didn't have, it's kind of looking like it's turning a little bit. Does it look like it's not straight? Man, it kind of looks like it's not straight. Are my eyes playing tricks with me, or is it? I don't think it's actually straight. Like, these things kind of seem to come to a point. These ones do. And I guess maybe it is. Maybe it is. All right, I'm gonna leave it like it is, but I'm skeptical. We're gonna go 0 degrees, and we want to go to 80 meters out. Like that, and out one more time, 80 meters out like that. All right, good. Okay, that's good. That's step 1. Now we need to replicate this exact same thing, but in this direction, which is why I've got these extra rows just to make sure everything is straight. So we're going to delete these roads here, get them out of the way. And what we're looking to do is we want to start this I just want the back roads. That's all I need, are these back roads right here to be in place. So just give me that. Yep, and then you can go away. That's fine. Get rid of this, get rid of this. I can't drag anymore because it will also delete the thing underneath, and I don't want it to do that. So can't do like this, for example, to get rid of it. I don't want to do that. Okay. We got these markers, but I don't know if this is where the tunnel actually needs to be. So remember 103, or was it 102? Pretty sure it was 102. 102 was the midpoint between this, right? Between these 2 points. Yeah. So 102 is what we're looking for to be the midpoint. So we want to back this off. And let's reference it from this side so that we do it the same way as we started. So it started here before, and it went over here. So it's about like this. We want to come back. 102. That's our midway point. Okay. So we know this is 102 meters. Now, we're going to rotate this side around that point. Come out to 102. And at 102, that is where the tip, or the end of our tunnel is supposed to be. So the back side of the tunnel needs to start here. Okay? So what we want to do to help that along, and we could just make sure there's no problems by just backing this up even further, is what we need to do, is we need to get this to the point where the tunnel backside hits that. So that's not quite right. It's about there on this one. This is the one we want, I think. So right here is where I want this to be lined up with. Right about like that. All right. So this tunnel, this one went down 6 levels. This one's going to go down 3. So it goes out like this. 1, 2, 3. We go out 100 meters. Same as last time. We want to make sure we're going to hit F4 here just to, we're going to turn off the snapping. So we're going to go like this. Now, we should be able to get 100 meters here. Just bring it back up a little bit here. And I should be able to just look down. There's a spot here where it's like it's above terrain, but it shouldn't be doing that. 1, 2, 3. And I think might have to deal with like having 100 instead of like, I might have to deal with having like a 101 or something. There we go. Something about like this. 101 will do. It's fine. Bring that down, match it up. Okay. Then 80 meters, although it'll probably end up being 81. Just like that. And then bring you there. And then this side now needs to come up, but it needs to come up the exact same distance, right? So right here we have 102 on the measure, right? We're going to flip this over and we're going to see where you coming at is about 102, right? So right about here is where we want this to come out, right? So once again, we're going to back these up, these roads right here. Just back these up a little bit and probably about there. A little bit more than that. So we want to go like that. Oh, you matched it. So I like them being alternating because when I delete them, they don't usually stay exactly. They're usually a little offset, so I can figure out which one to match it to. That's the one I want right there. All right, so bring this back and then bring it forward to match up with that side. All right, now when we go to the tunnel tool, I should be able to do this. It says it's above the terrain at some stage, which is not supposed to happen. It works here, but it's not working here. I wonder if I can back it. If I can do it with, that is interesting. This is the exact measurement for my test save, and that is different. So I'm wondering if I've done something different with the terrain here. I mean, it was just a smoothing thing, so I wonder if maybe I do something like, let me get my terrain flattener out here. I mean, everything is exactly the same, so There's no changing to terrain here. So if I smooth it just a little bit, does that change anything? That's odd. It should be right on. That is not allowing it. It lets me come back a little bit though. I wonder if it has to do with that 101 here instead of the 100. That might be what it is. That slight 101. So I might have to... Oh, man. That's going to suck if that's the case. Let me try... It might just be a... That might just be the game, you know? Let's try it this way. We'll pull these back. Okay, and then we're going to bring this up on this side. And we want it to go... My goodness, it is so picky. I guess we'll go 98 here. That's not a perfect... That's not perfect, but I mean, maybe it'll do. Maybe it'll be fine. It just means that our tunnel isn't going to perfectly match on both sides. And in this direction, I don't think that's a huge deal, but this is the shorter direction anyway. You'll see what I mean in a second. All right, I'm going to try 98. It's not going to match exactly even anymore, but if it allows me to do it, that's going to be better than, you know, not being allowed to do it. All right, then we can delete this. I didn't want to delete that one. Shoot. Can I get you to come straight across? Yep, like this. And then you can come straight across like this. Okay. And then I want you to come out. Level. Level. Yep. And then here. And then you. And then you. All right, now I can bring these back. I just need to make sure that they have something that they can be even with. Well, I didn't want it to go back that far, but I just need a little nub. There it is. That's it. Just a little nub that I can make this go exactly straight with. All right, match that up. Good. Same thing over here. I need a little nub, and we should be able to be in great shape right there. That works. All right, so bring this back, and then let's match it up. All right, we have our nubs. We got our roads. Now, same thing we did before. On this one, we went out exactly 80 meters from this point. And that's exactly what we need to do this time too. So it's from this point, not from this, but from this point. So we're gonna take and dial this back about there. That works, and that works too. Well, it's a little off, isn't it? I think it's close enough to where it won't matter. And then we go like this. I mean, this isn't it's not exactly a precision game, you know? There's so many things in this game that are just like whatever. A lot of times. I mean, have you seen this road over here? Let me show you this road. It's now that you're never going to be able to unsee it now. This road is terrible. It's awful. Look at this thing. It's so bumpy. And the vehicles, they bob up and down when they're driving on it too. It's pretty wild to watch it. Just like, check this out. You want to ride in this ride? It's a cool ride. Look at this guy. Oh, look at that bus. He's in a hurry. All right, it's awful road. You would never want to ride on this road. But I had no idea this was going to happen when I made the road. It's just too close to the edge over here, right? So there's a lot of stuff in this game that's like that. It's just sort of a whatever sort of thing. Also, did I just see that bus full? Wait, hold on. Was that bus full of people? You're full going here? Of workers? Well, I mean, maybe you're going to work in the shops and stuff? I might need to not have this bus completely full. Do you actually... Yeah, I don't think this is a good idea here, okay? Little bus. You're going the wrong... I think we have the wrong bus for this job. You know? I feel like we got the wrong bus for this. I mean, you just loaded a ton of workers, so... I think this bus, with all the things you're doing, you are not going to load workers here. Honestly, no. I think I have a better job for you, honestly. Let's try this instead. Where is my bus? Over here, you. So I got 2 buses on this line right now. I think I'm going to add a 3rd. There you go. You're on this line now. And what I want you to do is start going that way because you got 112 workers on you still. So go do that instead. And then I just need to get a different bus, or a different set of buses, a smaller set of buses, to go between these two stops, because that one's just too much, man. I have gotten rid of the road depot that I had before just because I needed to put the indoor pool in. It didn't really matter anyway, but I can shift it over here now, and so I will. All right, I just had a crash, but I put it back. So road depot free here, and I just went in and bought 2 of these buses instead, and we'll have these 2 buses do a passenger route. I guess we could do a worker route too, but the problem is I don't want that many workers picked up on that bus. So maybe I'll shift it up a little bit differently even still, but we definitely don't need the big tall buses going this way. At least not yet. When we get more people over here, fine. When we get the sporting complex set up, fine, but we definitely don't need it yet. So we're going to have that. Let's come back over here. All right. So 80 meters is what we want over here. So we're just going to come out straight. Turn off snapping because the game loves to snap itself to the tunnels underground for some reason, and I don't want it to do that. So 80 meters is there. Come out again. 80 meters is there. Here we go. And then on this side, we do the same thing. 80 meters coming right to there. And we are good. All right. This should give us a situation. And I was going to say they're completely equal, but now, because we had to adjust the distances and stuff, they're not entirely completely equal, but I think it'll be fine. But it should have given us, if it had let me do it before, a situation where this road to this road was roughly, and again, it kind of depends on where my mouse rests, so it could be here or here. So within a couple of meters difference, the same as this road to this road is. Okay, and they are pretty much the same. So now everything is rock steady that way, okay? So the last step is, of course, figuring out where our exact middle is. And if we're going through here like this, you can see this is 205. And we go from here to here. This is about 205. So we want a route 103, 102-ish. We'll split the difference and go about here. Okay? That's our exact middle. So this is where our roundabout's going to be. And it's not going to be a very big one. Oops. Leave that right there. It's not going to be a very big one. We don't need a very big one because the way this is set up, and it likes to snap to the tunnels underground, so you got to be careful if you're doing this yourself. We want to put that X like right on that red mark. So right about like that. Seems good. And then we need to pull this back. We need to drag, can't do boxes anymore because it'll hit the tunnels underneath. There we go. Done. So that is our roundabout. Now, the cool thing about how we're going to set this roundabout up is that when it's all said and done, the only reason a car has to enter the roundabout is to turn left. Every other instance, cars should stay out of the roundabout. There's no reason to go in there, right? For any reason, like other than turning left. So how we're going to connect these to ensure that that's the reality. We're going to use the 1-lane roads. And so what we do is from here, we go like that. And we go like that. And we go like that. And we go like that. So if you're turning right, you're going to be in this lane and you're going that way. If you're going to go left, you're going to enter the roundabout there. And there. And there. Is it one more step? I think it was one more step, but again, the distances might be different now. So I'm going to go like that. And then it's going to go like that. I think this is the differences are. Oh no, did I? No, it seems fine. Okay, I didn't delete the thing underneath. It's going to go like this instead. Just because I think my distances and stuff have changed. All right, and now, so this is how you enter. Now exiting, you come off, go like this. You come off and go like this, and like this, and like this. there's our wonderful roundabout design. It's actually quite simple, but because of it being measured, it's got a certain elegance to it that our roundabouts previously didn't have. I mean, this isn't even done, right? Because remember I said the only reason to enter the roundabout is to turn left. What if you want to turn around? What if you're going this way and you want to go back the other direction? We have a solution for that. Also, it's going to look really nice and it really will complete the whole look, but we're not going to put it in yet because doing so messes up what we're going to do next. And I don't want to mess up what we're doing next. So what are we doing next? We are, I think these nubs, actually, hang on. These nubs are a little bit big. I want these nubs to be smaller. Let's kind of go ever just so slight like that. Yeah, I think that's going to be better for me. You are not letting me do it. Get out of my way. Get there. There we go. Then we pull this back and then we get them both to line up like that. That's okay. That one's okay too. All right. If we do the turnaround part of this, it's going to mess up our tunnels because what we're doing from this point on is copying it. We're going to use the clone tool to copy our design at this point right here. Okay, now here's the part where it gets really screwy. As soon as you clone, it never sets it up correctly. It never orients things correctly, right? One of these directions is going 6 steps down. The other's going 3 steps down. And it matters which one you do because the terrain is changing elevation, right? So one of the things I've done here in the setup is I've got these little nubs on the end of the tunnels, and that's intentional, not just because I want it to stretch out a little bit, because I want to be able to identify which direction is which. And so now over here, this one doesn't have the nubs on the tunnels because it's not part of the plan. And so I can see that, you know, nope, it can't be that side because that's got the nubs out there. So does that one. So does that one. But this one does not. So I know that this is the correct direction. The next thing is trying to get it to where it's actually straight, because it's always going to be off by a little bit. This thing does not like to be perfect, so it's really hard to get this to be exact. And this is with me holding control and stepping down, and it's still not happening. So then you have to go extreme for a little bit and then control back and see if you can get it to be perfect, which we're not going to be able to get it perfect, but that's damn close. I'm thinking I actually got it perfect. Cool. So now we're going to take this and we're going to go this way with it. All right. Now, where do we put this? Well, we need to put it to where the port right here, the opening, is going to line up with the future bridge. Okay. And the future bridge is going to be right over here. And so you can see how the terrain is kind of coming down pretty steep right there. That's going to actually interfere, I think, with a little bit. I should probably level that out a bit more because I think that's going to interfere. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull that back, and I'm just going to go like this really quick because I think that is going to interfere with what I got going on. And I might even decide to do a quick terrain lower. I can't do too much of that though. Yeah, I don't know about that because it's going to mess up what I've got in the future too. Let's not do that. I do want it to be daytime for this process though, so double checking on. I think I'm comfortable with terrain smoothing, but I'm not comfortable with lowering terrain here on that because I think I might mess up what I've got going on later. What I've got going on later is really cool. I think it's really cool. I think it's going to be it's going to be a super unique thing for our city. Like no part of our city is like this city, right? And also there's the unique visual characteristics of this city that differentiate it from everything. And everyone in the Republic will be just like, oh man, I gotta move over there. I gotta be over there. I don't know why we're not fixing these things, huh? It's an awful lot of vehicles to fix. That is just gonna keep being a thing too. We're gonna have to keep and to find ways to fix as many vehicles as we can. Okay, so I think I've done enough there. So let me just go back to real quick. Go back to clone tool, and we want to clone like this. And then we want to make sure it actually lines up. That, did it save my place or something? That's actually seems like it's dead on. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much spot on. Cool. All right, so we're going to rotate a little bit here. And we're going to rotate our camera up like this too. Come back out. And the problem is I don't have my testing in my example save where I'm playing with it. This is just done. And so I can see this from a distance. I can't do that here. So might mess it up. We'll see. We're going to play it by about like this. It looks close to where it needs to be. It might be a tad bit over too much, but I think that's okay. It gives us more room to do things with. So what we have here is the tunnel and road matching up and lining up with the other one that's over on the plans that we've already placed. And the tunnel on the bottom side of the screen, the lower side of the screen, is lining up with where our bridge will cross over here. Okay? So we're going to have a bridge here just like this side. And it comes out about here. Same place. Okay? So what I'm going to do is just turn it this way. I really wish I could see that like from a distance. I wanted to place it like way up here. And I can't see it. So I'm just going to have to Google it. These lines or something. Those arrows or something. So let's put it here-ish. All right. As soon as I click this, what's going to happen is the whole thing is going to be placed to construct, not plans anymore. So there are no more plans now. It takes a little bit of second here to do it, and there it goes. So now we have like an exact copy of that design. But the tunnels are going to be screwed up. And they always are, because unless your whole thing is flat and you have the exact same train and elevations, it gets screwed up. But we can look at it and we can try to make changes as we have it. At least the outside roads are completed. That's why we have these outside roads, and we have them a certain distance apart so I can fix them. Okay? And I will look to do that off camera, because the process of fixing this is really tedious. You have to, measure things out again and then put the tunnel back, and I don't want to do that. But what's important is we've got this connected, and they're not entirely lined up, are they? I was off by a tiny bit. I could always place it again. All I have to do is just cancel everything and try to place it again. I think I might do that. So I'm going to get 2 exact copies. But before I do that, and I'm just going to cut for you, we want to do it again. So we're going to say from here, this is our staple, right? This is our good copy. It's always going to be ready to rock and roll here. There's no problems. And it looks like it's also copying again. So now we're going to come over here, and we're going to do the same thing here. But we're going to want to line it up to where it is lined up with this roundabout over here now. Okay? Because this roundabout's going to get involved. So we're going to have, if you're ever wondering why I put a roundabout there, I'm thinking ahead, all right? I'm thinking into the future. All right, so I'm going to put this about right here. I think that seems pretty close. Let me just double check. And I can use this road right here as a reference. See that the terrain here is kind of a different shade. Let's make it a little bit brighter here. Huh? There's no reason for me to pause it right now. I can kind of use that as a reference to where I am lined up, but it may not end up being lined up completely. It's just really important that it's enough like space apart, because what we're doing here requires a lot of space. So I'm going to say right about here should be okay. I might be a little bit off. Let me just double check on this side. Obviously, we don't want the tunnels to be red, but I think this is all right. If I'm off a little bit, it needs to be in this direction. So, because if I'm off this direction, nothing will work. Well, it will work. I just have to make changes, and I don't want to make. So, I think I'm gonna hit it right here. All right, so we'll hit that. Takes a little bit to place it. There we go. And I think that's okay. You can see how this is off. These dirt roads. They're not lined up entirely, and that's okay. We can redo them, right? They're dirt roads now. So we'll have that, but the important thing is that we're lined up on this side. I believe we are. And then also that we have an adequate distance between this road. Look where my mouse is, not where the design is. Between this road and this road. Okay? These two need to be a certain distance apart in order for my plans to come together here. And I think I nailed that, but I don't know that because I haven't measured it yet. All right, last thing then. We haven't rotated the design at all yet. So again, from here, slide over, and now it's just a matter of lining up both of these. So now we can zoom out, go above, and we just kind of look and see where we're at here. So we should be able to hit about here. It's more important that we get the left side over there lined up because it's so close. So I think we're going to go about here with it. And do I want to be kind of interesting here and maybe, I don't know, rotate or something, or keep it? Nah, this part here is less planned. I know what I need to do here, but the spacing isn't as important. To where this right in here is really critical. It's very tight. We're running out of space, kind of tight. So I need to do that. And I had plans to do a really cool residential area here. But when I was testing it out, I realized something pretty important, and that's that the heating plant is right here. And in the wintertime especially, we end up with a lot of sick people right here. So I'm going to have to amend that plan too. So it's a little less planned over here than it was before. But I'm going to put this, I guess, right about here. Right about here should work. I don't know if that's lined up on the top side or not, but it's going to be fine. We're going to hit it. Okay. Now I have to go in and fix all the connections and fix all the tunnels and stuff. But now that we've got the plans in place, we got these little nubs, so I know where the tunnels were, right? Those little nubs will always be placed, will always be positioned. And then hopefully we have some good references and stuff over here. But at least I know where those tunnels are and I can replace them according to the terrain that they are over top of. All right. But we can connect here, which again isn't perfect, but it's there. And then on this side, we want to have this connect over there, this connect over here, this connects right there, and this connects right there. There we go. And then all of this connects this way as well. And it might be confusing as to why so many roads will be needed, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of traffic. And let's wait until I have the tunnels done on that one. Now, over here, the plans have kind of changed because this exists. So I kind of have to redo this a little bit. It's a little weird on this side. And what may happen is I may just remove this side of it entirely and have this kind of just wrap around from this point and then remake this in a different vision, because I didn't initially plan to have this thing here, right? We kind of changed up the plans on how gravel was delivered. So this kind of messes up the curve over that I was going to do to connect with this. So what I might do instead is just remove this part, have this be a three-way instead, and then we'll end up having another roundabout over here that this can connect to, instead of having this feed into this. I think that's kind of how I have to do it. All right. So that's how that's planning. So the last step, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it and cut you back in, is the turnaround, right? How do we get the turnaround parts for this to work, right? Well, we come over to the one lane road tool again. And this is another tricky thing because it's going to keep wanting to snap to the tunnels underground. And also, if you do this before, if you incorporate this in your design for the tunnels, I know it doesn't seem like it because they're all messed up, but there's actually, this one here has actually worked out really well. This one's complete. That's cool. It's not complete this way, but there is still a segment under here. I might be able to use that. I can come and go. Yeah, it didn't quite happen there, but I can redo it and maybe make it like this, right? 89. That's fine, you know? Have it be like this instead. Then bring it down and, you know. It could work, right? It could work. So the tunnels don't have to be exact. They just have to be doing their job. 82 is fine. Yeah, as long as it, especially in this direction, we want them to give us more room to work with. So in this direction, I'm actually more than fine with this because it means that this will be even shorter and I won't have to deal with as many spatial problems as before. So I actually like how that turned out. Cool. So over here, over here with the 1-lane road, what we're going to do is we're going to come off of this one from here. We go up this way, and this is where it starts to interfere. So I just have to, you know, do this a little bit at a time. And what we want to see is, I believe it's going to be, come on now. It's messing with me, right? You know what? It might be fine just to do it from here. On this side, we'll do the same thing. Start from here and go out like this up to there. Seems it doesn't quite match, does it? I really do want them to match because it looks better when they do. I'm starting to look at me. I'm starting to care about symmetry. Come on. Don't do this to me. Game. You jerk. Yeah, it's doing all these weird snappy things I don't like. All right, anyway, we'll just do it like this. And then we come from here and we come around like this. And it needs to be out further. It's not going to be enough because I want to make sure. Actually, I think this will do. Yeah, this will do. And can I bring you out here too? Oh, come on. This is close enough, I think. Yeah. So we come out about like that. So I want to make sure that when somebody's turning around, they don't stop on this road. So we allow traffic to continue, right? I don't want them to stop. So this turnaround comes from here and it goes all the way around. And just have you go like that. There we go. So I'm going to apply this little turnaround loop, which again doesn't involve the roundabout in any way. This little turnaround loop will get involved and I'll be applying that to every single part of this as we go, so that people who are moving through a certain direction, they are able to turn around if they want to. And I don't really need to do it to the interior ones, I don't think, because you would think it's later on in the cycle somewhere you would have exited by now. So I believe it's really only needed on the ones where it's entering the city area. So like here and here and here and here. And then I guess if I'm removing this and this, we don't need it over here at all. And then it'd be, I guess, here and here. So I guess it's almost everyone. It's just not these parts. But there might be a need for this. Like, for example, we have some stuff that's happening over here. And if people get on the freeway on this side, but what they really want to do is get into the middle, then they'll have to come out, come around, turn around, come this way, and then get into the middle. So I guess I will just do it. I'll just do it everywhere. It's not really all that big of a deal. So I got some work to do. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did a whole bunch of stuff here, and I've got the roundabouts and stuff already done with all the turnarounds and stuff kind of put in place here. There's a little shorter on this side because the ones I copied over and did, I couldn't get as close to the roundabout with them. It's too many conflicts with the tunnels, so it just doesn't work. So a little bit shorter there. Then we deviate from the plan a little bit. So as we come down this way, it's mostly intact, and these roads are going to stay. So you see these exterior roads, there's like 4 lanes here. We're going to keep these. That's a pretty important thing because there's going to be a lot of traffic through here. And again, the turnarounds are all on this side. I'm not going to connect this yet. I'm debating on doing a sort of a bridge system here because there's a lot of rail that's coming through here. And I don't know whether or not we're going to have a lot of trains, but we are going to need to deliver lots of cargo into this area. And I'm pretty sure my cargo yard is going to be right here for that. And so trains frequenting this area is likely. So I'm thinking about actually doing a bridge over top of this with some kind of interesting curved bridge comes down into the roundabout sort of thing. And then this one kind of going up and then whipping around and then It might look a little weird. I may do a tunnel instead. We'll see. Either way, I don't think I want to do a roundabout or anything here. So we're going to leave that alone. I've taken out this side. We're not going to do it. And I'm replacing this whole setup going into here with an extra bit that goes out this way. So this stuff right here was already in my plans, but I've now changed it to where this road does not go this way. It instead goes into its own roundabout and then down into a new one that's right here. And to be honest, this is like a spontaneous thing. I don't need to be as precise over in this area, so it's okay because people aren't living here, and it's just, you know, stay away from the heat. But adding this definitely changed things up for me because I had kind of a little neighborhood right here, and now I'm not going to do that just because I don't think it'll look as good having gravel right next to high rises and stuff. I just don't think it'll look good, so we're not gonna do that. But here we go. Everything is in place. All the tunnels and stuff are set up on this side, looking pretty good, and the helicopters and everything have already started kind of like auto search, right? They've already started coming in here to grab everything. I got my tunnel right there, and then the bridge going over top of it. So the bridge goes up and does its thing right there. Okay, so the next thing we need to sort out here is how are people getting on and off the highway, right? Are they going to get, you know, here's another highway, but how are they getting off of this and getting over here? Because this is down below, right? Well, we have an on-ramp and off-ramp situation. And that situation involves tunnels. Of course it does. Tunnels. So we're going to have a tunnel that goes about here. I'm not entirely sure if this is perfect, but we're going to see if we can't make it work. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it goes down about that far. Right about there. And then from there, we go up and connect over here like so. Real simple tunnel. Not a whole lot of effort in that. And it's going to click. It's just going to work, right? So right there. Man, it does not want to connect, does it? All right, it's a little sharper than I would have liked, but it'll work. So it's just really sharp, but whatever. And then from here, we come up, and we should be able to... it's a little low. This is what I said by not perfect, but it's pretty low. Yeah, the incline is too low. All right, no problem. We'll just back off on that, and then we'll have the tunnel come from this side, and it'll just kind of work its way up and go a little bit closer. We'll say it goes about... I don't really want it to do that. It has to do the same on the other side too. So I guess we'll pull this back and redo it. But essentially, this is how it's going to work. I'm not going to have you guys like fill this video with me like messing around with spacing, right? So tunnel in here, pops out on this side. That gets them to go this way. Tunnel right here, pops out over here. That gets them to go this way. We do the same thing over here, where we have a tunnel that comes in and it goes out. However, that is for this side. All right. So we end up having a way for people to get in and out of this in two different directions. Now, I could do this to where I had off ramp right here onto this road, and then on ramp on this side. And then I could do the same thing on that. And then over on this road, we just have them come in on this side of the road. We could also do that too. I haven't actually made a decision on that. It depends on how things are spaced out with a specific structure, which I'm going to share with you right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my on-ramps and stuff to make sure that I can fit this in here. So this area right here, it's raised up, right? It's elevated. Right, so everything else is downhill from here. So in a way, this is kind of like top of the hill. And in fact, if you go over on the other side of the highway, that side is not as high as this side. So this is elevated even regarding this side. Okay, so as a way of seeing it, right here we have 12.5, and over here we've got 22.6. Right, it's pretty elevated. It's not the highest point in the city when it comes to the land. That is over here at 30. All right, this whole area over here on top of the hill here is 30. So this area, the buildings sit higher than the buildings will on this side. But what we're putting here, oh, it's a tall structure indeed. I said we're installing mods, and we are going to be having a very big building right here. And it is called, I'm going to say this wrong, and I'm sorry about that ahead of time, the Krinsk Square building, okay? It is a monstrous building. It will take a very long time to build. 229 tons of concrete as opposed to Dnipro Flats, which needs 490. So Dnipro Flats needs more concrete. But this building requires almost 1,600 tons of bricks. It's a little older style. And on top of that, this will also want 526 tons of boards. Wooden boards. Yes, in buildings, we still do that. Dnipro Flats doesn't want any of that stuff. And then in addition to that, we also require more steel than the Dnipro Flats does. And instead of the prefab panels, it's kind of replacing bricks with prefab panels, right? So overall, just a lot. And the groundworks too for this thing. Dnipro Flats is 23 tons of gravel. This thing is 176 tons of gravel. Workday comparison, 4,300, 21,000. But what benefit do we get for that extra cost? Okay, well, first thing we get, and you have to also look at the max power draw too, okay? Dnipro Flats is 71, and this thing is 216 megawatt hours. It's very power hungry too, okay, for a residential building. What do we get as a benefit for that, right? Well, assuming we can provide it for all the electricity that it wants and the water consumption, we can take care of that. We get a 97% quality flat as opposed to a 90 for the Dnipro Flats. But we also get 1,800 workers that can live here instead of the almost 600. So we get 3 times the workers in this building. What does it look like, Charlie? Stop stalling. Fine. It's huge. It looks like a big old fancy building. All right. And this building is going facing this direction, and it is going to go right here, right by the metro station right here. And it's going to go about like this. Now, I'd like to get this lined up perfect, but there's some other stuff we're going to do in this area too. So I have to make sure that we are going to be able to afford those things too. So I'm going to go about here. It doesn't have to be lined up with the metro, but I'm going to do it right about here, I think. Let me just get an overhead view as well, because I want to make sure it needs to be perfect, okay? There's stuff I'm doing here to really make this area beautiful. CHARLYBINSK North, we're going to be doing something here that we haven't done yet. At least we haven't done a lot of yet. We're going to be decorating. We're going to be making this really, truly look great. And that's something that requires a little bit of patience and precision. I don't even know if this is correct, but you know, when I'm designing everything, we'll see. I'm going to place it right there for now. This building will take a very long time to build, but you can see how tall it is, all right? If you count the big star at the top, just right here, you can kind of see it. It towers over top of even that television station over there. All right. This is, my eye level is like lined up with that star right now. So it's big. It's a tall building. All right. And compared to the hill, those living on the hill, it's way tall. In fact, it's almost up where helicopters want to fly. And the cool thing I think is going to be really interesting is that we're going to be able to, like, say you're living in one of these apartment buildings, right? Maybe up at the top floor, right? Up here. And let's say from inside this, you're looking out your window, right? In your wonderful apartment. You're looking out your window. You're going to be able to see that thing sticking up, like right over here. All right. So as a comparison to how tall we are, right? How high up we are right here, right? We're going to go keep our eye level right there. And just, it's so tall. So it's going to be really, really cool to see. I think it's going to be great. Once this thing is in place, And then all the traffic started moving around it. Now, 1,800 workers, they're going to need supplies, all right? They're going to need some stuff, which is why we're going to have a lot of that stuff provided for them in the center here. So I think we're going to bring in a lot of our distribution, logistics, trains, bringing in supplies that we need from the rail network. Well, that's what this is for. This whole area here is for that, right? And on top of that, we're also going to need to provide a way to get passengers to their destinations. We have another thing that we can do, and I'm excited about this one. Hopefully, I've left enough room for it to work. We are going to be using trams. Yeah. Now, all of the roads I've currently placed, trams do not run on those roads. They're reserved for cars and trucks. And there's going to be a lot of personal cars, a lot of trucks, really just a lot of traffic going, all right? I want this place to be super busy, okay? Plus, I also want to make sure this traffic system actually works, which I'm pretty sure it does. So when they're moving to their destination, they're going to use these roads. And then once they find where they're going, or they get close to where they're going, then they will exit the highway. And then they'll be inside roads that are going through here, roads that are going in here, and here, and here, and here. And these are all destination based. So there's no reason for through traffic on most of this stuff. We will have a few instances where there's through traffic, but not a whole lot. And one of the things we're going to be doing, and I think I'm going to save that for when they get a little bit further along in their journey, as far as making these roads go, is trams. Trams have to be two-way. You can't have them be a one-way street, which is why none of the trams are going to be using these roads. These are all one-way streets. Man, you are not as far back as I thought you were. I think I need to scoot it back a little bit further than this. You know, I probably need to bring this up a little bit more. I think I need it to be like right up against that highway if possible. Yeah, we need this to be up higher. So I'm gonna bring this up. And it's up to the same elevation, right, as this place already is, but we'll end up repositioning that. But I need this to be raised up. And you see how it doesn't make straight lines. At least, at the very least, City Skylines did that really well, right? It made straight lines, but this doesn't do that. What I would love to have as a tool for this is I would love to be able to make a wall, like an actual embankment, right? And position that and then have the terrain sort of conform to that. It'd be really nice to have a nice, like, sort of solid wall right here. I think that'd be really cool to have. But in any case, we're going to let them build this, and we're going to focus on other parts of our republic while they're building this, and then we'll get to the next stage of traffic development in this area. But we're going to end up having trams. There'll be a tram stop here, and it'll go with a bridge over top of this, and it'll slide itself over into here for another stop. Some of these stops, I don't know if it's this side, probably not this side, but definitely the next side. Some of these stops are actually not tram stops, they're train stops, because tram stops are very small. They don't have a lot of people. 250 workers can queue here. And that is, from what I can tell anyway, that's the largest stop. So if I can find a modded station, you know, maybe I'm open to that. But the largest tram stop is just this. So what we would do instead is we're going to use a passenger platform, a train platform. We use this instead for the 1,500 workers that can go in here. But we have to take the trams and the roads that they're traveling on and convert them into rail so that the tram can ride on the rail for a short period of time, get into the platform, pick up people, and then get off of the rail. And we're going to use that same rail for a sort of a drop-off, if you will. So people will be able to take the tram, for example, to the train station and then get on an actual train, a locomotive, that takes them farther away, right? So you can say, for example, here, tram to here, and then train takes you out. And so there'll be a train stop right here is what I intend to do. So tram stop here, tram stop here, tram stop here, train stop here, and bridges that go all the way across and over top of these with the trams. And you'll see how that evolves later. I have no real, I'm not in a hurry to put that in place here because I'm still trying to design how the buildings are around those things. So there's eventually going to be a tunnel that takes people, takes the trains from this side of the track underneath, pops them out here so they can come this way. And then from there, we're going to connect this side over here. No, not there. It gets connected to this. And that is so that my train station in CHARLYBINSK North can take people via train directly into this stop. And this stop is actually the best stop because this stop, with a little bit of tweaking in my walking paths, can absolutely reach this. Which means I've been playing around with it, like how I want to do the rails and everything. And we don't need a train station here. We don't need a metro station here. That's why I did this instead. We don't need that because this train station absolutely can serve as a drop-off for this building. If I redo my walking paths a little bit, I need to put a tunnel. I can start it around here. I need to move this road, but I've spaced it out. It will fit. We can put a walking path tunnel here, and it comes underneath, and it pops out right over here for a walking path entrance that's right over here, right there. Right, so this will end up going underneath, and that will work beautifully. So if I was to like try this out, I could do something like this. Yep, there it is. Come on now, auto saves. Something like this, and then this needs to be the one with lamps. Doesn't need it, but it depends on where I put that. But I would like it to just be like a sure thing, you know. So we could do something like that just to prep it, to get it ready, because I'm going to need that built anyway. And then over here, forgot where it actually comes out. I don't think this works. If it does, great, because then I can wrap this around. But I don't think this works. We're going to try it out right now, though, just to see, because it's easier than rearranging some of the other things I was going to rearrange. So what I would want to do in this case is I would take this out. Not sure, that must have auto-built or something. We would go this way with this path and down there. Like that. And then from here, we go down a little bit so that we can get underneath this road. Then over. You keep messing with me. Yeah, it's the electrical. I need to go a little bit. I need to go in stages. That electrical is messing with me right now. Hold on. So the problem is when you run into a road or a railroad or something, the level in which you have taken yourself down, it kind of gets reset, and you get brought back up to the top for some reason, like it already is now. See, and I don't know why it does that. It's always done that as far as I know. Maybe it's just my like a me problem. Maybe that's not a problem that happens to other people. But it sure seems like it's a problem that happens to me often. All right, so it just happened again. So I need to come over and do that. So we're down 9 meters is my depth. And can I get, 6 meters, 9 meters as my depth. There we go. So that should, I believe, allow this station to reach there. Bingo. So now all I have to do is get my trains, my passenger trains, to be able to get in here, which I already have hooked up. I just don't have a route for that yet. I haven't needed a route for that yet. This is another one of those mistakes where I've built things that I don't need and I'm just maintaining them this whole time, right? Drop the plans. You don't have to build it unless you're ready to use it, right? And that's something that I'm trying to work on better, which is why CHARLYBINSK North is being constructed with just the roads for now. Yeah, just the roads. And we'll do the pipes, and we'll do all those things too, but we'll place a lot of plans for buildings and stuff probably in the next couple of episodes. I'm not going to do it right now, but it isn't urgent yet. What is glorious, though, is just in the short amount of time I've been planning those roads over there, we are cruising on getting steel. And I'm loving it. Now it says we're missing iron. That makes sense, because as fast as we're going through here. Oh, it's a mixed waste problem. It's a mixed waste problem. Oh my gosh. Really? You don't reach there? Oh, you're full too. Oh my God. What is happening here? Oh no. Where's my trash train? Okay, we need that trash train to only come here. There's enough of this to where that just has to happen. Which one's the longer one? 155. You are the one. You're the one that's going to do nothing but this. You're going to go to... You're not going to go to Zernovsky anymore. You're doing this. This is now your only job. And I think everything will get better from here if we do that. And you shouldn't be on your way there. Yeah, you should come here. You should come here. Where are you? Where are you at right now? Okay, you're on your way back. Fine. Yeah. We definitely have to process stuff faster here too. So all that stuff is great because if I start bringing people to this stop, then they'll also disperse amongst this stuff. And then we can have more people from Sternikova coming over here to manufacturing, and you know, those buses and stuff can be more full as a result of that too. I'm also apparently not treating the hazardous waste very well because the hazardous waste is full here too. So hey, there's some stuff to consider here, isn't there? I think maybe another waste treatment plant is going to be needed before we can really have this done. We don't have the capacity for it. There's just certain bottlenecks. I don't believe this is a bottleneck, to be fair. I don't believe this is a bottleneck, the hazardous waste. I think the hazardous waste is a bottleneck because of this, right? I think it's because there's too much mixed waste in this. And that's the problem right now, is that we're not processing it fast enough. I need people to process this much faster. Oh boy, that's something else I have to look at, but I'm gonna leave you guys here on this video. So we started our traffic system over here. I know maybe it's an uneventful video, but I think it's exciting just to see that we're starting it, right? And we're gonna come back and we're gonna check in on this every once in a while, and we're gonna start seeing all the roads in there, and it's gonna be great. And then we can start worrying and advancing on the other stuff. The extra stuff, where buildings are going to go. We're going to start with the tram system first. Then we're going to take a look at logistics and making sure that our distribution office arrangement and deliveries with trains and all that stuff is in place. We'll start dropping metro stations in here, and we'll start trying to connect all of that stuff with the plans. We're not ready to build the metro line yet, but I do want to start kind of working towards that eventuality. Because the metro... because the regular train station can bring people here, I don't think I need the metro to come over here. It's going to save me a lot of time. One of the things I could potentially do, though, in that case, is take the metro line and bring it all the way to Sternikova instead. And I could maybe get Sternikova hooked up with the metro line. I have no idea why I would want to do that. But the idea, I think, is if I bring it over here, then I now have a way to get rapidly transport people that are over here into a more populated area for their services and the tourism and things they want to do. And so now I can expand Sternikova out this way too, because I do want to get more people over here as well. And speaking of which, wow, we are full of coal. That's a really good sign, or a really bad sign. No, these are both running really well. Probably should turn this to 15. Allow 15 in both of these. Yep. Probably should do that. Yep, we're full on there. Max people on the power plant. Everything's good. Yeah. So still some audibles being thrown regarding the metro station, but the idea was that the metro would be positioned about here so that everyone living in this side of the city can reach that metro station. They won't be able to reach this one, but this one is going to be pretty busy with this palace that's right here at the top of the hill, as well as the facilities and hotels, wink, 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 that will be over here on this side near the water. So the metro is going to be it's going to be used. We're definitely going to see it used. I just haven't quite figured out where the stations are going to be located throughout this area, but I do want them to be over here. And it's one of the last things we're going to build because it's not really super urgent. And so that's another thing we'll look at later, okay? Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. It's going to be fun. Bye-bye.